Good morning, Facebook world out there. I left you last week, I believe it was, in bridge pose. So we're going to start where we left off. FYI, I spent the first 10 minutes of my morning in child's pose today. You know, they say you can take child's pose wherever you are, and sometimes that just feels so good. You can just feel your body melt into that pose. So being kind to your spine requires flexibility and strength. We've talked about that, and that's for sure. We want to be flexible, we want to be strong, and we want to... There's Cindy. Good morning, Cindy. So I've found a couple of little tidbits that have really helped me in my restoration practice. So if you have it, get a blanket rolled up in half and then roll it again so it makes a nice tube. You can do this with a beach towel for sure. But let's just start in a little restoration to warm up our back. Back is something we need to be very, very fragile for, and kind, always kind. So we've done this in class before, but if you sit right at the base of that blanket, I'm in an odd place because I need a wall today. That's why I'm here. But sit right at the base, and then if you just let your spine roll down and let your head land where it may, depending on how tall you are, just letting your back rest on that rolled blanket. It allows your chest to open up, and by the way, that's what a back bend is, right? A chest opener, heart opener. So let's just lie here for a moment, find whatever it is that makes you comfortable, and rest for a moment. The theme of my class today was going to be just connection. Certainly when we open our hearts, it's what allows us to connect, and we put ourselves out there so that we can connect and we can have deeper relationships. But we also, when we do that, we become much more vulnerable, and we want to protect ourselves as well. So always protecting yourself, keeping strong boundaries, as well as just opening and making space for something new. That's yoga. So as we lay here, just soften and breathe. And then if you have a block handy, go ahead and put your feet on the floor. You can't see mine, but if you lift yourself up into bridge, just enough to slide that block under. We talked about you can have it on the flat side, the short side, or the long side. So I'm going to do the flat side here and just rest my back of my pelvis right on that bridge there. So I've got my pelvis resting on the block. It feels so good. I've got my shoulder blades alongside the blanket. I've got my chest high. So I'm supported. I'm without effort, and just asking my chest to open up. How's that feel? So you can do that as long as you want, but let's get busy here. So lift your hips up, remove that block, come on and sit up, and remove that blanket. We can always finish in that, so have that ready when you finish your practice today. Let's go ahead and just lay on our back again. We're going to come up to a bridge. As you let your shoulders soften, let your chin rise, your feet, your heels are close to your hips, and bring your knees together as you lift your hip high. Go ahead and tuck your shoulder blades under, opening up that chest, making those collarbones smile. Chin is lifted, hips are lifted, and breathe. So I want you to think about a lot of things when you're doing this practice today, but think about your glutes. I truly believe that our body, the reflexes are there to protect us. So you'll find that when you're doing some of your hip openings, your glutes automatically tighten up to protect your hips. Yoga is a matter of control, controlling the big muscles as well as the little muscles. So see if you can kind of talk to your glutes during this practice and see if you can relax them or tighten them as you need to be. Chin lifts, rise. Exhale, lower down, one vertebra at a time. Let's go ahead and bring one knee into the chest and then the other for Apanasana. Oh, it feels good. Knees into the chest. Go ahead and lift your hips up off the mat and bring your forehead towards your knees. And round that back. Be kind. Don't let your shoulders involve. Keep your shoulders soft. And lower back down. I think we've got our back at least awake. Let's come into table. Nothing warms up a spine like cat and cow. So place your hands on the mat right below your shoulders, your knees right below your hips. We're going to really work on our shoulder openings today. So let's go ahead and just sway those hips back and forth. Engage your core. If you remember the little cue we had a couple weeks ago where you tuck your lower ribs back and your top of your pelvis back, that tries to take out a little bit of that lumbar curve and straighten out your back. So let's go ahead and walk back and forth here. Bring your fingertips to the sides of the mat and your wrists towards each other, just opening up your fingers. And then bring your hands in together. Let's come into a cat and cow. Let's do it again so we can articulate that back and be involved and being aware. We're going to let our tailbone start the action. So as you tilt your tailbone up, let your belly sink, let your shoulders rise, and your chin rise is the last. Breathe that big breath in for cow. Exhale, start with your tailbone. Let that tailbone drop, belly button to sky. Shoulders rise, chin lowers. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. I want to hear you end it with a nice roar. And inhale. And let's level it out for a nice straight back. Go ahead and keep your hands to the mat. Send your left leg long and your toes are up. Go ahead and take your back nice and flat and feel that hip opening there. And now flatten out your foot, bend your knee. You can't see it really well, but we're kind of like this. Yeah. And then we're going to press our foot into the mat as you straighten out that left leg, letting your right hip go to the right. And then come on in. Toes are pointed away from your knee. You're stretching that hip. And out. And in. And out. So just with your breath, exhale as you bend that knee and advance your hip towards the left foot. Inhale as you stretch your right hip away. Can you feel it? You can get that whole upper body involved, but you're just stretching and opening up your hip. So we've done this before with a little different stance of the hip, but this way we get a little wider hip here. So your toes are pointed away from your knee. You're pressing your hip away. Now you've got your left leg nice and long. Walk your hands over to your foot. Let your toes come up. Just like we've done before in class, take a breath in and lift out of your hips, lengthening your upper body. Exhale, chin toward the toes. Just toward, not to, just toward. It's a journey, it's an effort, it's an advancement. It's not a destination. And let's walk our hands back. We're going to go ahead and take that left knee and rise it up. And you're going to do some glute stretches here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and keep your left hand on the mat. Take your right hand, wrap around, grab that left foot, and lift. Again, you'll feel your shoulders relax. Your right shoulder goes back. Your chin goes up. And breathe. And go ahead and set that left foot down. Let's go ahead and find child again, just because it feels so darn good. Exhale, let your chest draw to the floor. Stay here for a few breaths. I'm going to walk it around so we go the other way. Our ultimate pose today is going to be Dhanurasana. That's why we're doing all these stretches here. So we're back in table. Go ahead and take another couple cat-cow, starting with your tailbone, just articulating lower back, mid-back, upper back, chin. Exhale, drop the tailbone, lower back, upper back, forehead down. Let's come on into a nice table here. Going to take that right leg off to the side, toes pointed up, then flatten your foot. And we're going to just rock that hip, right hip towards the right side. Press the foot into the mat, send the left hip away, straightening out your leg. You get the idea. Just opening and closing. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's go ahead and take it nice and long. Your toes are up. Walk your hands around. Take a breath in, lift out of the hips. Exhale, chin toward the toes. Stay here for a few breaths. Feel that lengthening. Feel a little heat coming into it. and come back. We're gonna go ahead and lift that right leg up, and we'll come into some glute crunches here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and keep your right hand on the mat. Reach around with your left hand, grab the top of your right foot, and just feel that left shoulder soften and drift back towards the foot as you press your foot into your hand into your foot, and rise. It's a balanced posture today. Use your core to keep you nice and balanced. Use your breath to keep you nice and balanced. And there you go. Let's find child again. So back bends, ultimate back bends. You don't even realize you're doing some of those things, but we're lifting our shoulders back, posterior from the midline. That's, I guess, by definition, a backbone. A back bend, sorry. Let's go ahead and find the mat. Our whole belly presses into the mat. Bhujangasana is Cobra. It's a little bitty baby back bend. So your shoulders, your hands are right by your chest. Elbows are in. Use your breath to rise and lift. So this is a beautiful pose to practice. This is a lovely way to get to know your body as you lift. And again, like I said before, think about what your glutes are doing. Are your glutes relaxed, or are they tightening to try to strengthen or support your back? Breath in to rise and lower. Next time we're going to lift all the way up into up dog. So breath in, lift. Lift your hips up off the mat. Lift your chin, lift your heart. Keep your hips hovering on the mat. Breathe and drop your knees. And let's come into child. So why am I against a wall? Well, because I want to open up that chest just a little bit more. I am in love with child today. Grab yourself a water, and we're going to come up to standing. I want you to be very careful with this next posture, because we're going to try to open up our shoulders here. So let's try our left arm first. You're going to take your hand against the wall. It's a good time for me to check myself. I've got kind of a mirror here. So again, the alignment, shoulders, hips, ankles. Go ahead and take your palm and point your fingertips away towards the back. Spread your fingers just a little bit wider here. And you're going to turn your body to face away from the wall. So just gently turn your body. And you feel that chest opening there. Feel that whole pec stretch a little bit, just a little. Don't kill it. You can really tear some things up if you don't be kind and gentle. Just open up that chest. Want to do something with your right hand? Maybe you can. Take your right hand behind your neck. Lift your chin. So we're stretching the whole front body here. Again, getting a little bit of opening in our chest, a little opening in our collarbone. And come back. Let's walk it out as we walk our body towards the wall again. We're going to take it to the other side. So right hand, go ahead and grab that wall. Fingertips point behind you. You should do it just like I do. You shouldn't see your hand either way. So it should be right off your shoulder. And go ahead and walk your feet away from the wall as you press that arm away. So Danurasana is our peak pose, what we're going to shoot for today. It took me a very long time to get Dhanurasana. And every morning, every day is different, right? So today might not be a good day for Dhanurasana. But that's okay. That's okay. So Dhanurasana also require hip opening here too. So let's take it back around. Unwind. Come on into center. They should feel nice and light and airy. Let's take a breath in and lift. Let's exhale and open up our chest. Send it forward. Let's hear it. Hands toward the shins, half lift, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's get a stretch of the back of those legs there. Drop that head down. Oh, yummy. And breath in all the way to rise. Let's go ahead and grab that wrist. Stretch that left shoulder, left side body. Look up towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Grab the right wrist and take the stretch of the right body. And breath in, the ultimate back stretch. Lift up, exhale, chest lift, back bend. And come back. We're gonna try this. This is kind of tough, We're going to take our hands again on the wall. I wish I could come onto the flat side, but you're going to, maybe I can. We'll come into the flat side here, and your hands are against the wall. So come very close to the wall. As you press your hands against the wall, your elbows rise up, and then walk your body away and lift. That's the ultimate back bend. Upper body alone. I'm going to do it the other way so I can see myself. Hands are thusly. Walk pretty close to the wall so that you can press your palms on the wall, lift your elbows up, and then walk away from the wall. And lift. Woo, doggy. Are we ready for a little Dhanurasana? All right. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's come on back to the mat. I'm going to come into a bridge. So we're going into our peak pose, so this will be our final pose. So grab your equipment. I can't see what you're saying. I'll read it later. Hang in there. Be kind. Grab your equipment. You've got a little block and a little rolled blanket. So let's find bridge again. Yeah, this should wake you up. It'll create a little bit more energy, create some space and energy into your heart. You ready? Let's do our bridge here. So the heels are towards the hips, knees rise together. Scoop that tailbone up. Let's go ahead and tuck our shoulder blades under. Let's take our arms behind us, clasp our hands, lift our chest and rise. And lower down. So, Dhanurasana, I don't know if you can see these, you can't. I get confused on these too. Dhanurasana is what we consider bow pose. Urdhva Dhanurasana is kind of like an upside down bow pose or wheel pose. We're not doing this one because Lisa can't do this one. We're doing this one because Lisa can sometimes do this one. So hang in there with me. Hey, Mary Doyle. Hey, Linda Hall. All right, you ready? Hey, and you can take child or you can take bridge. But ready? Let's go. One more time. Let's come into bridge. Heels towards the hip, knees in, lift. Take a check in, shoulders lift, belly lifts, heart lifts. Breathe, chin off the chest. And lower down. Let's roll it to our belly. You ready? Let's go. We can do a half wheel. Let's do a half wheel first. Hands by the side. Let's come into Cobra. Elbows come in, chin comes up. Feel those glutes, relax or tighten. Again, the tightening is a way to protect your lower back. Loosening creates subtlety. Here we go. Gonna bring our heels up towards the ceiling. Can you reach around and find one foot? Let's just do one foot. Let's do one side. Lift that knee off the mat. Breathe, lift, and lower. Let it down. Let's check in with the other foot. Reach around, grab that foot with the same side hand. Lift, lift, and lift. Woo! It's time. It's time. We're gonna go for it. I always thought if I had somebody behind me that could grab my foot and give it to my hand, I could do a lot better. Let's give it a try. Knees off the back. Lift, 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 and lower. I hope you tried it. I hope you feel better for it. I know I do. Hey, let's roll up that blanket again and soften our back and give ourselves a little love. Go ahead and take your hips right at the bottom and lower your spine towards the rolled blanket or towel. And there it is. I love you all. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for trying it. That's all. Just try. Have an open heart. Connect with somebody today you haven't connected with in a while. When you're happy, they're happy. Love you guys. See you next week. Hey, I'm going to be at a new location next week, so it'll be fun. Namaste.